This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Aurora, Colorado. We're here at Office Evolution. I've caught up with ZandBear since 2014. They have been helping you grow your enterprise by achieving successful outcomes in many areas. I'm here with the founder. Sherry, thanks so much for joining us here today. Let's start off, first of all, give me a little bit of background on yourself, what it is that got you involved in this particular line of work.
Well, I believe my 25-year career has led me to this line of work. I started out in very large companies, kind of questioning how processes were done. And instead of having mentors that would shut me down or not help me, they actually encouraged me and put me into situations that weren't necessarily a part of my job, but it really helped me grow and learn. And then I took that information and I started going to smaller companies, and that was just a wonderful experience because, again, they let me run with what I wanted to run with, and I got to learn when I wanted to learn. They did wonderful professional development for me, and now I use it all to help other people.
Wonderful. I mean, let me ask you this. Obviously, you've been at it for some time, gaining a lot of knowledge in the industry. Why is it companies are faced really with limited resources anymore? I mean, is that something that you're coming across quite often?
Well, everybody tries to do more with less. And with I think the tech industry has really spearheaded that, making things put on the cloud, making it easier for us to connect, that we don't have to travel so much because we have Skype and all these different office supplies and various pieces to it. So I think that has spearheaded the fact that people think we can do more with less, which they can, in all honesty.
But obviously with some guidance. I mean, that's where you come in. It's a business development is what you're really doing here. How important is it for people to have a growth strategy set up to make sure that they're successful?
I think it's imperative. We've all heard the Zig Ziglars and the Lombardi, yes, who would say that, without a plan, you're not going to get anywhere. And that is so true. And I think that people overthink their plans. They think that once that they've set it, that's the only track they can take, which isn't true. That your business is a moving target, and you constantly have to adjust your perceptions and what you're doing based off of what you know at that time. And so the whole idea that I try to instill is, let's get you the best information we can get you so you're making good decisions.
Interesting. And so regardless if somebody out there is putting together a new product line or a new service line, you're really able to help them either one of those areas?
Yes, I actually consider myself a generalist when it comes to it because I am doing internal operations. I'm helping you when you find out that you're in growth mode or you find that you're losing track of what's happening in your business. It's all to bring that piece back together and help your managers talk to each other. Studies have been done that find out that managers are very, very good at what they do, but they're not so good at knowing what their other managers are doing, and so therefore they don't know how to help each other.
Speaking of helping each other, you really you partner up with these companies, yet at the same time you're an outsider, so you're able to give a unique outside perspective. Do you think that's beneficial for them as well?
Absolutely. For my clients, I am their greatest cheerleaders when they're doing the right things and they're seeing progress and momentum and everything's moving along. But I'm also the person that has to deliver the bad news. So it's really about the relationships that I have with them, that they can take the bad news from me and that they're working on the good stuff and know that I'm there for their success.
That's very important, that input. Let me ask you this, proper internal controls, making sure you have those in place. Not only does it make the labor force easier day for them, but does it affect the bottom line as well?
Always. Again, everybody thinks that your employees aren't necessarily wanting rules. They really do. They want to know your expectations, and that's what policies are. And they eventually go into a handbook, and then it becomes your policy and your culture of your company. But so, yes. And by knowing what is expected of them, they're not spinning their wheels. They're not working on things that they don't really need to be working on. And yeah, it'll affect your bottom line.
Speaking of some of those things they're working on, are companies surprised sometimes some of the bottlenecks you're able to find or fix? Or not only that, but maybe finding out multiple people are doing one task and redundancy is taking place? Is that something you experience?
Absolutely. Through process mapping, is a very good way to catch that. You'll find out who's working on what. You'll get everybody, all the players in one room. That's crucial. Make sure that everybody who needs to be in the room is in the room. And then you'll learn what each person is doing, whether they feel they should be doing it, and maybe they shouldn't. Maybe it really is part of another department or another person's aspect.
Obviously, you probably have to be pretty good at numbers, not only understanding the numbers today that you see in front of you, but really from an analytical approach of knowing what those mean in the future for the company. Is that something that a lot of managers aren't really equipped to do?
In my experience, no. People who came up through the finance, who come up with degrees in accounting, really know what those numbers are. And I think that a lot of people will, or a lot of managers will learn pieces of what they're doing. But again, they're not looking to look at somebody else's numbers or know what those numbers mean when put together with other numbers. Right. So they may focus on one little piece and they're not seeing the big picture. They're not seeing other pieces that really do affect them.
Interesting. How important is it for these companies to have consistent data, consistent reporting, so they're, like you said earlier, able to make a decision quickly?
Again, I would even go back a further step, and we've all heard this one before, garbage in, garbage out. If your systems aren't set up to handle the data that you need in the future, you're not going to get it in the future. You have to think about it up front, what you're putting into your systems, and what you're going to want out of them as you start growing. A lot of small companies go, well, I don't need to know that data, or I can keep it in my head. If you're truly growing and you're getting to the next step, eventually you're not going to be able to keep it in your head, and you're going to have those systems ready for you.
Systems in place, tools in place, that's what you're providing. If these tools aren't in place, can they sometimes miss valuable opportunities if they're not able to seize the day?
Again, absolutely. It's imperative that you know your business, that you know how it operates, that you recognize an opportunity when it comes. Sometimes opportunities come in a cloak. They're not really easy to figure out. But if you're watching for them and you know that you should have your radar on and you should have your ears open for various possibilities, then you can really do something with them.
Like you said earlier, a generalist, we're talking about accounting, finance, return on investment. Any of these areas that they need a little help in, that's basically where you shine.
Yes. I have also worked with my network to then bring in specialists of these areas. So it's not only that I'm a generalist and can identify the problem or identify an issue, then it's bringing in the right people to really correct it and make it right.
So you're also talking about setting up partnerships for them, alliances for them as well.
Yes, I am talking about that.
Wonderful. Viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is a website. On the website, first of all, you're going to learn a little bit more about the founder there, some of the personal traits that have basically helped her achieve great success. And not only that, hopefully helping you achieve the same. You can also see some of the services she's able to provide for you. But obviously the best way is a consultation, because she basically can take a very customized approach on what it is that you need from a professional standpoint. Like she said, make sure everybody is in the room that needs to be there. I have to ask you before I let you go, where did you get the name for the company, and how does that reflect who you are?
ZandBear. Zand comes from my last name, and then Bear is it's my view on what I think the consulting relationship is, which means to yield and produce, to carry, to support, to give direction, as in to give bearing. Interesting.
That is a great analogy. Last thing here, obviously, these people are putting their trust in you. Is it sometimes a humbling experience and something you really don't take lightly, I would imagine?
Oh, I'm always humbled. I think people out there have great ideas, and most of them did not go into business for their internal operations. I did, but most of them did not. And I love working with people and seeing their minds work and how things grow, and just, I have pure joy when somebody does something that they didn't think they could do.
Wonderful. Last time, viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen. What you're going to see is the website. You're also going to see her contact information right there. You can reach out her via email, give her a call. Basically, she will set up a consultation with you, come in and decide what it is that she can help you with. This is a company that's brand new, 2014, helping you grow your enterprise. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.